many people who are marching, and you should just prevent them from going to Tahrir Square and shooting them, or others from them inside shooting and the police. This is not the way we need Egypt to be.
Okay, moving to Sabah Al-Balad newspaper, and we read Egypt cabinet takes new decisions. Spokesperson Hussein Gawish, spokesperson of Egypt's cabinet, said £1 billion Egyptian pounds has been dedicated for housing projects during cabinet meeting held on Monday. Gawish added in a TV release and said that the cabinet extended the period specified for receiving cotton from farmers till next February. He furthermore said the National Council for the Disabled is to be restructured to be under the leadership of the Prime Minister himself. So what's your take on these decisions by the cabinet?
Good decisions, actually, and they are trying to do the work, although the environment is not helping a lot. Of course, the National Council for the Disabled, they have been asking for it 4 years and more. It's very important because they are not in a small percentage in Egypt, and we should actually admire their insistence on this, having their own national council. They should be respected. They should be actually restructured because there is some resignation from it, and we should listen to them. It's very important. They have their own rights.
Yes. Go back to Al-Ahram newspaper, and we read Egypt's stock market retreats as it opens with a minute of silence over late Saudi king. Egypt's market main index declined 0.65% on Monday's session, recording 9,834.81 points and a turnover of 756 million Egyptian pounds. Meanwhile, the broader EGX 70 index and the EGX 100 index inched up 0.26% and 0.12 respectively. Arab and local institutions recorded net sales of 25.81 million Egyptian pounds and 15.94 million Egyptian pounds respectively, while local retail investors and foreign institutions recorded net purchases 27.61 million Egyptian pounds and 10.31 million Egyptian pounds respectively. So let's focus first on the death of late King Abdullah, and to what extent his death will affect the whole region.
Of course it will have its own effect, because King Abdullah was a favor of Arab situations, Arab League, others, concerning the Arab interests as a whole, and of course the Saudi Arabian interests. He had a lot of initiatives, actually very good initiatives, concerning the peace process, concerning even trying to have
Egypt's relation with Qatar,
mediation between Egypt and Qatar, a lot of other things. His death, of course, is a loss, but Saudi Arabia will continue. I think it's his own ideas and his own way concerning the Arab countries. We're going to wait and see what's the new king are going to say and his actions. Actually, we are having an Arab summit in the end of the March. We have an Egyptian economic summit, which was by the initiative of King Abdullah, actually, in March. So we're going to wait and see what the Saudis are going to say.
Do you expect improvement in Egyptian-Qatari relations after his death, or do you expect a setback?
A setback. Unfortunately.
Okay, moving to Al-Shuruq newspaper, and we read Egypt's pound loses 4% to the US dollar. Egypt's pound weakened to 7.43% per dollar from 7.39 at the central bank auction on Monday, the weakest level it has been allowed to reach since auctions began in December 2012. It was the sixth consecutive official depreciation in the past week, prompted by the gap between the black market and the official rate. The bank offered $40 million and sold 38.4 million at a cut-off price of 7.4301 pounds per dollar. The pound was trading at 7.9 to the dollar on the black market shortly after the central bank's auction on Monday. According to one trader, it was quoted at 7.89 after the previous auction last Thursday. So what are the reasons behind the deterioration of the Egyptian pounds?
The weakness in the economy. It's very easy. The economy is not moving forward. We are expecting that after the conference and a lot of projects, they are going to maybe have investments more. So the economy is going to go better. But now the tourists are not coming. So you are not having a good economy because you are depending all the time on tourists to come with dollars and euros and all of that. So but now they are not there.
But that was the case since the revolution. But the pound was stable in front of the dollar. But in the last few days there was severe deterioration.
No,
even in the banks themselves.
I don't think this was the situation. No, after the revolution, the Egyptian economy was standing on its leg.
Yes,
it was hit, and it continues like that down.
Yeah.
And from that time until now, we are trying to have. Of course, having stability is a good sign, but still you are having problems. Mm-hmm. So you are coming back. You know, we had stability after the President Sisi had been elected for some while, so the economy was trying to stand again on its feet, having more investors, having more tourists, but now, with a lot of problems concerning stability, we are going back. And that's why from the last days or weeks, we are not in a good shape. And it will be affected more. Raising officially the dollar is not the price of the dollar is not the last solution that you can have, because you still need more economic steps to have for your economy. And actually the dollar is about 8 pounds now. 8 ELE. It's not only 7.4 in the black market. Yes. And it's increasing the price. So we need stability. We need investments. What's happening now in Egypt is hindering that, unfortunately.
Okay. And to Egypt, the Independent and Free Trade Minister said devising a roadmap for the World Trade Organization is necessary. Minister of Trade and Industry Munir Fakhri Abdel-Noor returned home coming from Switzerland, where he participated in the World Economic Forum. On the sidelines of Davos Forum, Abdel-Noor participated in a World Trade Organization meeting which tackled a number of development issues. In the WTO meeting, Abdel-Noor said that devising a roadmap for the activities of the WTO this year has become necessary for making Doha development round successful. In addition, he said that a program should be outlined for the developing countries. So what's the significance of Egypt's participation in the Davos conference, and how do you read statements by the trade minister?
Of course, I agree 100%. We need, of course, a program for the developing countries. We need a program for the African countries. And I think there will be a meeting in Kenya at the end of this year, in December, before the summit of the WTO, so that we can have an African perspective concerning the African position in the World Trade Organization. The problem is they are forcing us for certain steps to be taken by the developing countries and by the African countries, and we need to struggle and we need to convince them concerning our position as a developing countries. So, of course, I agree 100% that we need a program, we need a strategy or a roadmap concerning what we are going to do on the international level and the African level, actually, and the developing level, concerning those decisions that's coming out from the World Trade Organization that usually is in the benefit of the rich countries.
Yes. And wrapping up our press, we read in Al-Ahram online, Saudis see greater U.S. role in Middle East as Obama visits. Analysts say that new Saudi King Salman is expected to use President Barack Obama's stopover on Tuesday to push for greater U.S. involvement in resolving Middle East crises. Obama, accompanied by his wife Michelle, is cutting short a visit to India to convey his condolences after the death of ailing King Abdullah last Friday. The American president praised Abdullah's steadfast and passionate belief in the importance of the U.S.-Saudi relationship. But despite the long-standing strategic partnership between the world's biggest oil exporter and one of its major buyers, analysts say Riyadh has grown dissatisfied with what it sees as a lack of U.S. engagement with the region's key issues. White House Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes said in New Delhi that Yemen's turmoil and the battle against Daesh would figure on the agenda. So do you agree with them as they ask for more U.S. involvement in the region, as we see that there are already U.S. strikes on Daesh that haven't achieved its goals yet. So do you think we need more U.S. involvement in the region in the coming period?
It depends on the definition of involvement. Is it a positive involvement or a negative involvement? Yes. This is very important. Of course, the United States is the biggest country in the world, strongest country in the world. Of course, it's have a lot of involvements all over the world. But what is the definition of its involvement? In the region, we haven't seen a good involvement, a positive one. Since the invasion of Iraq, until now, they have opened the hell for the Middle East, all of the Middle East. And the invasion of Iraq, the American invasion of Iraq, actually was the first step for what we are suffering from now in this region, concerning the Sunni and Shia problems, concerning dividing the countries, concerning having problems with terrorists. All of the terrorist groups all over the world came to Iraq to have struggling against the United States troops in Iraq. And the United States haven't achieved anything in its goals concerning Iraq, haven't achieved anything concerning the Middle East, although the Middle East also peace process. The peace process is gone. Yes. Yeah. The two countries solution is gone. Yes. It's nothing now. It's not on the table even with Netanyahu being a prime minister and probably will be re-elected. Yes. So we are having problems in the Middle East, and of course the agenda that's or what is said about the agenda of the United States in the Middle East is not fulfilling anything, and it's not in the benefit of all of the Middle East. And there is a hidden agenda concerning the United States and concerning the Western countries that is actually being shown on the ground now in all over the Middle East. What's happening in Libya, what's happening in Yemen, what's happening now in Syria, what's happening all over the Arab countries. It seems that the hidden agenda is going on the table, it's passing, it's passed. We can't actually prevent it. Egypt have tried and they have prevent some of this hidden agenda to be in Egypt after the 30 June revolution, but still we are in big problems. We have to fear for what's happening around us. Yes. Dividing countries is not easy, and having a new psycho-speaking borders trying to force us for new borders in these countries in the Middle East is not good, and it's not a good sign to try to they think that they can combat terrorism and Islamism by this way, because they are wrong. They are wrong. They have to differentiate between Islamism and terrorism. Yes. Very differentiate, because some of even the people fighting with Daesh are not from the Middle East. About 10% of them are foreigners from the Western countries. This is not easy. They have to look about it. They are going to suffer from what's happening in the Middle East. Europe and the United States and most of the Western countries and all over the world, they are going to suffer. They can't just do it like this and have a hidden agenda and think they have win the game. No, they are going to lose at the end. All of the world actually going to lose.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Suzy Genidy, Deputy Editor-in-Chief of Al Haram Al-Arabi magazine. And now we'll go for a short break and we'll resume the breakfast show, so stay tuned.